Welcome to THV 11 Plus for our 11 on 11. We start at the state capitol where lawmakers will discuss tax cuts on Monday. Governor Sanders called the special session after the state ended fiscal year 2025 with a surplus of nearly $368 million. That's the seventh largest in state history. THV 11's Catherine Rowley breaks down the governor's plan and the debate over whether that money should go somewhere else.
We want it to be pretty singularly focused on providing relief to Arkansans, letting them keep more of their hard-earned money.
The governor has made it clear since the beginning of the fiscal session that the state is in a good place financially to lower both income tax and corporate tax. But across the aisle, Democrats have been vocal, saying that they want to see more funding for rural health care, as well as other priorities.
A lot of areas that are really in desperate need of funding from the state right now. And so we're making a choice at this point, not to fund those things.
Just before signing the budget on Wednesday, the governor said taxes had been lowered 4 times in 3 years. With the lowering of corporate tax, she says that the state can continue to grow economically.
We will also lower our corporate tax rate by 0.2% and continue to make Arkansas the best state in America to do business.
Democratic State Senator Clark Tucker says he will vote no on this tax cut. The state would lose around $180 million in revenue, and Tucker says he would rather see that money go towards other state programs in need of funding.
But I don't think the people of Arkansas want to see us cut taxes when we are not providing the services that we need to provide to Arkansans in so many ways. And that's reflected in the fiscal session and the budget that we just produced.
But the governor says lowering taxes lifted the burden, making it possible for the state to work toward a zero-income tax.
We've already reduced taxes and gotten rid of that burden for so many Arkansans. This is something that further helps us get to zero for everybody.
But what could low to middle income Arkansans see from these tax cuts? Tucker says it's not as much as you might think.
So this tax cut is going to cost the state $180 million of revenue, but on average, it's only going to put $100 or $200 into an individual's pocket. And if you're a lower income earner, it's not going to put anything into your pocket.
The special session will start Monday at 3. In Little Rock, Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Catherine. The Democratic nominee for Pulaski County judge is laying out new proposals that would tighten rules on building a large data center in the county. Wendell Griffin says the plan would add new regulatory requirements. As THV 11's Tamara Knight breaks down the details.
Pulaski County Judge candidate Wendell Griffin unveiled a 3-part plan Wednesday to address the rise of high-intensity digital infrastructure projects.
These are not typical commercial developments. They operate at the scale of small communities, and they place real demands on our electric grid, our water systems, our roads, and our emergency services.
According to Griffin, Pulaski County has no formal land use regulations addressing these types of developments.
I propose, therefore, that the Pulaski County Quorum Court adopt a resolution with appropriate legislative foundings and classify high-intensity digital infrastructure facilities as heavy industrial uses based on their infrastructure demand, their operational intensity, and the land use impacts.
Secondly, he proposes
I'm proposing a quorum court resolution that establishes a regional infrastructure impact policy for large-scale industrial and digital infrastructure development in the Sweet Home and Port of Little Rock corridor.
Lastly, Griffin proposes a countywide ordinance requiring large-scale projects to go through a conditional use permit process to ensure infrastructure capacity is in place and that costs aren't passed on to taxpayers. For THV 11 News, I'm Tamara Knight.
A tornado caught on camera tearing across a pasture just 6 miles south of Brinkley. You can see the powerful winds twisting along the ground. It even grows in size within seconds. Luckily, this week, the twister appeared to avoid any homes and buildings. So far, there are no reports of anything but tree damage in Monroe County from this tornado that occurred earlier this week. Now that we're in the clear with the weather, we're taking a look at some of the damage left behind by storms in other areas. You'll see here several trees down in this video that our team captured in West Little Rock. The storms also cut power for hundreds of people in Pulaski County and thousands more in the surrounding areas. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported. Northwest Arkansas also got hit with some nasty conditions. Huntsville saw rounds of hail that was the size of tennis balls.
Coming down, and it was like a bunch at one time, and it was banging on everything, and it was kind of freaky. Scared.
As we reported, a tornado barreled through Stone County Monday night. Stone County judge tells us about 10 homes suffered roof damage and some trees blew down on county roads.
Everything is about 2 or 3 miles south of Mountain View, and it went east toward Batesville, and everything's in that area, southeast quarter of the state, county.
Judge Avey says there were no reported injuries or deaths. He encourages everyone in the county to enroll in their emergency alert system to get the most up-to-date notifications when the weather turns severe. You can call the judge's office to get signed up. A school district in Arkansas dealt with a major issue this week after a shocking announcement at the Pine Bluff School Board meeting. District leaders say a cyber criminal stole $3.2 million through a phishing email scam. The FBI is now investigating the theft, and our own Maya Ellison has been following the developing details of how it happened.
In the interest of transparency, I want to inform our community of a serious cybersecurity incident that impacted the Pine Bluff School District.
Pine Bluff School District Superintendent Dr. Jennifer Barbary is breaking her silence after a cyber attack that cost the district millions. According to district officials, the incident happened back in December. In a statement, and now confirmed during a board meeting, officials say a wire transfer of more than $3.2 million was processed for what staff believe was a legitimate invoice tied to construction of the new Pine Bluff High School.
The company had sent the invoice for construction services rendered, but the company had not requested the invoice to be paid via a wire transfer.
Instead, officials say hackers gained access to a district email account and inserted fraudulent wiring instructions into what appeared to be a normal email thread, a type of scam known as a business email compromise.
Fraudulent wiring instructions were later introduced in the same email thread through a phishing scheme designed to closely mimic authentic communications.
The district says that's when leaders contacted the FBI and its banking institution, launching a federal investigation.
We were directed to maintain strict confidentiality. Sharing details publicly at this time could have been compromised the investigation and potentially hindered efforts to recover the funds by law enforcement.
I stopped by the district's administrative center. District leaders declined an on-camera interview, citing the ongoing investigation. I also reached out to East Harding Construction, the company connected to the project. So far, we have not received a response. Now, district officials say they expect to recover a substantial portion of the money as the investigation nears completion.
Just last week, we were encouraged that within the next 2 weeks, the recovery of funds would be available, would be back in our bank.
But questions still remain.
That we couldn't know as a board.
I was told not to speak about it,
Leave it to the board.
that it would be compromised because at the time we didn't know where the money was and who did it. And we still don't know who did it.
And district officials say new safeguards have been put in place to prevent future cyber attacks. In Pine Bluff, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
A group of students raising the standard. Coming up, how mentors at Watson Chapel are helping young men lead with purpose. Important rulings handed down on both sides, or both the state and federal level when it comes to elections. This week, the Arkansas Supreme Court handed a hollow victory to Secretary of State candidate Brian Norris. The Republican was challenged his loss in the primary by fewer than 1,000 votes, but an earlier court fight has now gone his way. Independence County originally planned to use hand-marked paper ballots in the primary, but the quorum court changed those plans weeks before voting opened. The county relied on a new law passed last year to make the change, and then judges dismissed Norris's challenge. Well, this week, the High Court said that new law is unconstitutional. Norris, who campaigned on expanding paper ballot voting, can resume his challenge, though it comes too late to change this year's primary process. This comes as many states across the country have looked to redraw congressional districts, but Arkansas judges have dismissed all of the most recent redistricting cases that were filed in this state. THV 11's Tanya Motorzitsky hears from a critic who fears challenges to future radically designed maps have now gone away.
Lyndon Baines Johnson and Dr. King beside him signing the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was probably one of the most monumental moments in American history because it brought to light so many that had been in the dark for so long, and this country grew. It grew for the better.
A U.S. Supreme Court ruling is reigniting debate over race, representation, and the future of voting rights in America. The 6-3 decision striking down Louisiana's congressional map, ruling race cannot be the primary factor in drawing districts, is now being challenged. Something political analyst Charles King says is terrifying.
It's devastating to African Americans and all minorities all over the country.
He says the ruling could have lasting impacts nationwide, including here in the natural state.
Arkansas is the only state that has never elected either a person to the federal government, being Congress or senator, or to a statewide office. So it's kind of like that part, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, never quite got its feet on the ground in Arkansas.
He adds the impacts may be felt most in smaller local races. U.S. Senator Tom Cotton says on X the Supreme Court rightfully blocked racial discrimination in redistricting. In Little Rock, Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Tanya. The most recent redistricting fight in Arkansas came in 2022. Election experts say the carving up of the second House district in Pulaski County improved Republican chances by 2 percentage points. Incumbent French Hill faces Democrat Chris Jones in that race in November. And it takes a village not just to raise a child, but to shape a boy into a man. That's the concept of the Watson Chapel Wildcats Society of Gentlemen's Club. THV 11's Tamer Knight introduces us to the future leaders and the steady presence of those who refuse to let them grow alone.
I got the church shoes on.
The Watson Chapel Wildcats Society of Gentlemen's Club is shaping the next generation of men to be great, respectful members of society.
We have a code of ethic that we stand by. It is excellent, temperament, honesty, idealistic, self-control, and self-confidence. These are the basic things for success, and you better believe that.
The club is an organization composed of high school male students that are setting the standards on campus.
I don't think the Gentlemen's Club is just a title. I think it's a commitment to being a leader. It's to teach people and to encourage, like, you don't have to be an adult to be a gentleman. You can have integrity of being a gentleman at a young age.
Through mentoring and community service, these young men are learning tools and lessons to carry with them into the real world.
It's my duty to go back into the society to let the youth know that you can change. Tomorrow is better than today. And don't let your thought think that you can't be a positive person or a changed person or a person that can be, a gentleman that can go out and live a positive, productive life in society.
Organizers say their bold, charismatic personalities lighten the vibes at school.
At the school we've been in Gentlemen's Club, we're held to a high standard. That means we have to act a certain type of way, carry yourself and conduct yourself in a manly type of way.
Because in the end, it's not about just raising boys. It's about a community coming together to build the men they'll become.
Like having a Gentlemen's Club shows that it's people out here in our community who want us to do better, and it's not just darker skin complexion young men in here, you feel me? It's not like we discriminate or anything like that. We just want all young men to be able to have a chance to grow and develop themselves.
Who are we? Gentlemen's Club. Who are we?
For THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
For full-service fuel and personal connections is closing after more than 40 years. And we're going to take you to the place where conversation mattered just as much as the fill-up. But first, it's time to eat it up.
We've had a lot of catfish on Eat It Up, but I gotta say, Cajun Boilers catfish. Woo!
Catfish!
Catfish! This week on Eat It Up, we are back in the Spa City. When in Rome, ladies and gentlemen, Cajun Boilers. Yeah, we're eating Cajun left and right. We got amazing shrimp that is so easy to peel. Crawfish by crawfish by crawfish, shrimp and grits. I do have to say, amazing gator bites, catfish left and right. We're right on the waters of Lake Hamilton, and I do have a family surprise for you guys today. So what do you say? Let's eat it up.
Cajun roots and the heritage involved with my side of the family. My mom's side is like through and through Cajun. Actually, we buy our crawfish from a second cousin of mine. So, I mean, yeah, got a big shout out to them. The front is a little bit unassuming. You pass by it and you think it's just a small scale restaurant. And what we want it to be is a little bit of a, if you know, you know kind of scenario. And then you come around back and see that really what this place has to offer. That stage is built to last. When we had that storm roll through, that was so important. And yeah, we took quick action. We shut down for a little while, put a roof on top of our roof, and then and now it's in the state you see it today. My dad, he has a very strong opinion about what makes a perfect shrimp and grits. And so we just tried to embody that and replicate it time after time here as well. And the shrimp, it's the best shrimp money can buy. I try to say that as unbiased as possible. But that shrimp is packed in New Orleans. It's wild caught out of the Gulf. It's just, what can you get that's better than that? I don't think I can name something else. We want to do our family justice with the crawfish. There was one time we brought out 60 pounds to a table. And yes, a surprising amount got eaten. Not quite all of it. I think they left about 10 pounds over that they were able to take back and have for dessert. I don't know, maybe.
We love gator bites, don't we?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh. How spicy.
Yo, that sauce is so good. Mom's trying the hush puppy. How is it, Mom?
The crunch. It's a perfect crunch.
Isn't it good?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And I'm going catfish too.
Hush puppies are an art food.
You need a drink of water?
No, that's not my water.
That's your water.
I want to try some shrimp. Okay, let's let Donna do crawfish and then we'll get to some shrimp.
Don't be afraid of the spice. It's really not that spicy. Oh, that flavor. Ooh, that flavor, boy. That flavor, that flavor, that flavor. Ooh.
Sometimes you don't hit some people. No,
nope, you don't ever hit people. We never hit people. But this shrimp is hitting. Gumbo, red beans and rice. I know what Mom's ordering when we come here. Shrimp and grits.
Pretty good.
Every time.
You want to try it? Where's the people?
They're on the camera.
Look in that circle
us.
right there.
Look at the camera and say bye.
Bye.
Say wish you were here.
I wish you were here.
The weather is...
Say come get some Cajun food. Come get some Cajun food.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. In an era of pay at the pump convenience, one small Searcy gas station stood out by doing things the old-fashioned way. For more than 40 years, it's been known for conversation and community, along with fuel. Now that chapter is coming to a close, and its owners are being honored with their own day. THV 11's Maya Ellison takes us there.
Driving into Searcy, it's easy to find a place to fill up. But a little further down East Race Avenue, you'll find one that's different. Long lines are normal here at the Conoco and have been for 42 years.
My dad, Dandy Don, bought it for me. He wanted us to move back from Carlisle up here.
James W. Haney is the face everyone knows. Yeah, a man of few words whose actions say everything.
And he pumps it for you, checks your oil if you want him to, washes your window, checks your tires, and he puts washer fluid in if you want him to. He does all that under the hood.
An old-fashioned full-service pump, pretty rare these days. That's what Mr. Haney's better half, Pat Haney, says makes them special.
And we still do the old-fashioned where you can pump before you pay.
Not a card reader in sight, just trust, and these binoculars once used to watch the pumps. Things are a little different now, but some things haven't changed.
Communicating with the people and everything. I usually ask them if they're coming, going, or in between.
The lost art of communicating at the pump. 42 years of building relationships with people in the community.
I've lived in Searcy for 21 years, and we've been coming here forever. The Haneys are the best and sweetest people ever.
But on Thursday, those moments come to an end.
We appreciate you. You guys were great. I love Brother Haney. He always lifts me up when I come by here.
Decades of work and memories, ending with familiar faces reminiscing about the good old days.
I'm only taking that receipt for one reason.
Thank you for your patience.
I want your autograph on it.
And as humble as ever, the love is something Mrs. Haney says she didn't expect.
I was shocked. I was in awe. You don't think about that because we do, this is just our normal stuff we do every day.
As this chapter closes, a new one begins. Retirement is set in stone. And for the Haneys, they're doing it their way.
Going out to the farm and messing with the cows.
We'll still be in town and we'll see everybody. So, and go watch our cows grow.
In Searcy.
Oh, thank you for getting gas fun.
Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Maya. And that's going to do it for our 11 on 11 here on THV 11 Plus. Make sure you join us again next week.